Chalukas ha'aretz, the Chalukas ha'aretz came about. Shevat Naphtali and Shevat Zvulun were right next to each other. And Shevat Naphtali was given the most beautiful, nice, beautiful land, and Zvulun was mamish by Brek Yam. What did they have? And they were a little jealous. They were jealous of their brothers, you know. So, was hat die Rabbinische Leute gesagt? Deige nicht. Du was haben größer wie was sie haben. Du was haben the Dam Chilozen. The animal, I believe, is called, at least that was what Rav Herzog, the animal that he found, was Murex trunculus. If that's what it, okay, that is the animal that when they squeeze it, they get out of it the chilozen. They get this bluish dye, which is not really blue. It's maybe like an aqua. I think it's like an aqua blue. I remember seeing it from none other. I was away one year. We were away at the same hotel, and Rabbi Norman Lamb, I became very friendly with him, and he shows me. He says, I'm wearing, because I was writing about it. So he says, yeah, I'm wearing tefillin. And he showed, you know, he has the tchelas. Now the next point is, it wasn't the Rabban Shalom telling everyone else, because Mordechai wore tchelas. Tchelas Mordechai. Mordechai's gegangen mit tchelas. So it wasn't Mordechai. But it's true, every HaMelech, every Melech, if you notice it, most of us that we have a Megillah, the Seifrim have worked it out that HaMelech is at the top of every single blot, except towards the end where there is no HaMelech at that point. But there's also no Haman at that point. I just wanted to mention our Taira Reb Gershon, my history going back with him, which Reb Chaim knows it, Reb Chaim Israel knows it very well now, was a history that goes back to a unique Freundschaft. Came about through a mitzvah. That's how we became friends, through a mitzvah, through doing a mitzvah. Interesting is we just learned, as Reb Mendel mentioned, we just learned Parshas Mishpatim. These are the basically civil laws, the laws between man and man. And interesting is, how do we understand the Großkeit, the greatness of these mitzvahs? I mean, do we understand it? Is it, maybe it's not so great? Maybe something, it's just, I have to do it because as steht in the Torah, aber ich verstehe es nicht, I don't understand it. So interesting, there's a beautiful medrash, it's a Yalkut in Tehillim. Tehillim, you'll take a look, you'll look in the Yalkut, in Tehillim, it's a Siman, it's actually Perek, Samech Tes in Tehillim. The Pasuk says, the Pasuk in Tehillim over there, Ata kainanta meishorim. You have established straight ways. You, Hashem, have established straight ways. The Bashefa mach gleiche wegen. The Rebbeinu is the one who established that. Would not have been for the Rebbeinu Shalom, there would not have been a gleichheit. It would not be. You know, Obama said, you didn't build that, the government built it. No, we didn't build it. The Rabbi Shalom built it. That automobile that you're driving in, that one was built by the Rabbi Shalom. He reingestellt im Kopf, der Verstand, wie soll zu schaffen ein Automobil. That was where it came from. It did not come from you, it did not come from the government. Remember what Reagan said, those 5 words? The government is behind you. 4 words. Or remember what? What? Oh, the government is here. The government is here to help you. Oh, it's a lot of words. Okay. That's better than what our president once said. Remember, the 3-letter word, jobs. Never forget that one. But anyhow, so the Medrash brings over there, it says relating to our Torah, to that parsha. Kisire chamoyet sein acha roivetz tachas masoi v'chodalta mei azov loy azov tazov imay bedafka imay. If you see the shore is mamish, it's mamish, it's bending down from the yoke that's upon it. You have to go ahead and help the other one. What happened here? Rabbi Alexandri, who he says the following Maisa. Rabbi Alexandri in the Medrash, he says that 2 were mahalach in the derech in the midbar. They were in the midbar, 2 going together, each with their behema, with a masa. On Abaditzvei, they were like those 2 Jews in Afghanistan. They hated each other. They were sunning. They hated each other, but it happens to be that they were both going the same way. And plutzlum, suddenly what happened was the chamor of one started to fall down because the yoke was too heavy. So the other one looked, and then he remembered the pasuk. He went ahead and he went back, and he started helping his seudah, in quotes. They continued on, and they go to a pundik. Things that they ended up in the pundik. Pundik is an inn, and matki gegessen, matki trinken, and he looks at his friend, and he says, "I didn't know how much you loved me." Mamish. Now you understand the mitzvah, and that's why it has to be imay. But dafka imay, the pasuk. Imagine if it would have just said azav tazav. No, azav tazav imay, because it's sedaf reinbringen a friendschaft. My good friend, Zichrono Levracha, Rabbi Gershon, we knew each other. We were very casual. We would meet very often in Meal Mart on Fort Hamilton Parkway. What was Rabbi Gershon doing? He was buying food, if I remember right, for the Bucharest based medrash. They would have shalashudas, a kiddush, whatever, and he would buy the food, and he would bring that. You didn't even know about it, okay? He would bring the food, and I would meet him there quite often on a Friday. Meal Mart here on Fort Hamilton Parkway. Been around a long time and still around. And then it was someone else. Now Reb Leeper runs it. I forgot who was running it then. I forgot the name. But it was obviously someone related to the Herman family. Oh, actually, it was his brother, Gil. Where's Gil? Gil ran away. Gil student Schwer was running that store at that time. So it was also he was a Herman. I forgot his first name. The Tyreid. And we were friendly. I davened here in the Agudath, and he davened on Kegenibba by the Bucharest. Then, one day, my grandmother, Allah Shalom, she was a lady almost 100 years old. She ended up in the hospital. Which hospital? Right here in Maimonides. Reb Gershon, who made it a habit, he felt he had to get exercise. So every Shabbos he got a lot of exercise, walking walking the halls of the hospital. And he comes by a door, and it says there, Klass. Klass. Yaakov Klass. No, this was Ethel Klass, my grandmother. He walks in, and he talks to her. I don't know if how much she understood it at that point, where she was a little confused. And he comes to me, and he tells me, your grandmother's in the hospital. Oh, we have to do this for her. He calls Douglas Jablon, who I really did not know then. And we all got together, and he, between Reb Gershon and Douglas, who was Reb Chaim David, the same name as my oldest son-in-law, which we remarked about that. So you remember my son-in-law, Burns, yeah? So between the two of them, you don't know the things they did for my grandmother. You couldn't believe it. But they didn't just do it for my grandmother. They did it for everyone. If you know Douglas Jablon, Ad Hayoim Hazeh, Douglas is doing for people. And who was Douglas's Rebbe? Guess what? His Rebbe was Reb Gershon. That was his Rebbe. Really? I mean it seriously. Reb Gershon was a Rebbe. He had Talmidim. He had his yeshiva, Knesset HaRabbonim. And obviously, Reb Gershon and I became very close. I mean, I remember, I don't want to go, I'll start to cry if I start talking about the day of the Levaya. When Bracha called me. I can't, let me stop with that. So you see that that's what a mitzvah is. From the mitzvah of Bika Chaylim, he took the mitzvah of Bika Chaylim to the nth degree, and through that mitzvah he made so many chaverim. And he made chaverim for chaverim. That's how Douglas and I basically became very, very close friends. So, what can I say? And I just have to say that Reb Gershon leaves numerous legacies. He leaves all of those Talmidim. He leaves his family, a gewaldige mishpacha, such a wonderful mishpacha, the Mekirei HaTorah, who mamish are raising their children in mamish the proper manner. With his daughters, his sons, they are mamish. I can't praise them enough. But all of that comes from Reb Gershon and Tibodli L'chaim, his Rebbitzin, who obviously was afraid to come because some people are still nervous. Okay, I stopped being nervous after I got my third shot. Even though the card on my phone shows that it expires in another month. Why should it expire? If I got 3 shots, I don't know what that's about. And his other legacy, the third legacy, is the Igud HaRabbonim, which he expended so much effort. I want you to know that while Reb Gershon was in this world, he did everything for the Igud. He came to me, he says, I want you to sign this, sign that. I said, what am I signing? He said, just sign it. This is what it was. I didn't know what I was doing. He did everything. And suddenly, we have a whole hanhola, which is we have a troika, more than a troika. We have so many people, and it's just amazing. But we grew because of the seeds that he planted, and the seed that he planted was a key seed for the Igud HaRabbonim. The seudah of Shaul HaMelech, that seudah Rosh Chodesh, that Shaul HaMelech, we find it in the Navi, that Shaul HaMelech is the one who starts this whole concept. Shaul, who was the first Melech Yisrael. I'm actually writing about this. You might read about it in the Jewish press, but Shaul, who started the first seudah. And what happened was, years back, the Rav Haroshi who the Igud is very close to the Rabbanut, extremely close. Anything that the Igud does is recognized by the Rabbanut. The Beistin of the Igud. And of course the Askonis of the Igud is very much appreciated, especially now that we know what's going on in Eretz Yisrael with Sar HaDatut, who I don't think he's a Dati. Am I correct? No. They changed the title. It's not called Minister of Religious Affairs, it's Religious Services, I think. They changed the title. But this is basically what we are talking about with Reb Gershon. So Reb Gershon, the Neshama should have an Aliyah, and as Even sagt, alle Kranke Arifia, and ganz Klau Yisruel Ayeshia. That's the way they say it. We don't have any schnapps here, but l'chaim. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Chotosi Ovisio Pashatu. Okay. Now, how do I introduce a chaver of mine who we go back such a long time? He and I were the ones that named the neighborhood. We gave a neighborhood a name. Okay? And I believe your father might have been involved also a little bit. Okay? Borough Park West. One day I was... He came with it, and I'm not driving. Oh, Reb Shimon, you are terrific.
It's not me, yeah, he found it.
On the shore.
Rav Nathano, it's all right? It's nit b'shus? I have b'shus? Okay.
As long as you're not driving.
Okay. I can't drink too much because I have diabetes, but okay. But who wants to drink with me?
Just stand symbolically.
Okay, stand here. Hold the cup. Make believe you drink.
Great, now I gotta edit
Okay.
this.
No, l'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakanu v'borah. This is a chashuva mashke, even though I washed. Very chashuva mashke. Old Forester. Anyhow, so in the years ago, this neighborhood was really in decline because of the 4-story apartment houses. They were all, and Reb Chaim came up with an idea. I remember we met the first time in Beis Isaac Tzvi, Rabbi Helberg's yeshiva, remember?
Yeah.
We met there, and we came up with a program, and it was a phenomenal program, and then SEPCO came in, Southern Brooklyn, and Chaim became the housing director of SEPCO. Do I have it right? Okay? And they came up with a phenomenal plan. Now, which Yid wants to walk up to the 4th floor? So that was the problem. The Rabbani Shalom Hakegeben Aitza in Cup. You take the 3rd floor and the 4th floor and make them into duplexes. So you're only walking up to the 3rd floor. No, nicht sehr gefährlich. You take the 1st floor and you make a duplex there too, into the basement, where possible. So you have the 1st floor, nice big apartment. 2nd floor becomes maybe for the elderly Yidden who just need 2 bedrooms. And then the 3rd floor became duplexes. And this was the whole concept of how to turn over these houses. It was done on this side of Borough Park and on the other side of Borough Park, beyond the 18th Avenue. And all of these were neighborhoods that were mamish going down. Reb Chaim, it was the brain trust, the one who mamish figured all of this out. And we all really owe such a yashikayach to Reb Chaim for his not only his expertise, but sharing it with us. So with that, I would like to call up, and by the way, we are both on the board of the Y together, even though I don't come to meetings as often as I should, but Reb Chaim runs things, I'll tell you, and by the way, great news is coming from the Y. It's going to happen, taking a little while. Corona is arangemischt in them, Corona. But no, not that Corona. Anyhow, Reb Chaim. No, he's taking a picture there. Some